Say that, yeah.
All right. So like before we get into this, I have a question. All right, whenever you're at like a a random place like a Starbucks or like a fast food place or something, and they say, "How's your day going?" Like, what do you guys answer?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I've worked in service. I used to serve breakfast at my school's what's it called? At my school's dining center. And I would serve breakfast, so I would get there at like 5:30, set everything up. Nothing else on campus was open to like eat breakfast, and I lived in the dorms, so I didn't have a kitchen. So I would just I would go into work hungry on an empty stomach, serve food to people until like 11:30, and then all morning I'd be scooping eggs into someone's tray and being like, "Hi, good morning, how are you?" And they'd just be like, "Eggs." Like, okay. So it was a thankless job that I did while I was hungry, and I didn't get to eat breakfast because it was lunchtime by the time I was done.
No.
All right.
As much as I try to be nice, I'm unfortunately the eggs guy.
Yeah, eggs.
I feel like
So whenever I would go into like I answer all my comments. Basically, my videos go live at like 5 a.m. and I go into like various coffee shops, and I'm in there at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and they're like, "How's your day going?" They're still waking up, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm absolutely freaking flawless. Like, I'm ready to get some coffee. Let's freaking go." Every day, always answer flawless to that question.
yeah,
Flawless. That's a good answer.
That's a better answer than I could have ever given.
We need to expand your vocabulary there. We need you to have like a new made up adjective every day. Like,
oh man,
how are you doing? I'm phenomenal. Like,
Flow nominal, so we're battle.
I'll try it tomorrow. I'll try it tomorrow.
some Pokemon puns. I'm Zamtastic.
Oh, God. Perfect.
I'm Squirtin'.
I feel like when people have worked like retail or like hospitality jobs, you generally like treat people better.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I know where you've been, so I'm gonna treat you nice.
Yeah.
Why did you say that like that?
No.
I know where you've been.
And, like,
Mentally.
I feel like I walk into like a McDonald's or like a KFC and like see them working, and I'm like, man, you should really get paid more.
Yeah, for
Sorry,
sure.
wait,
Like, we've
Brady.
been in their shoes. We know what that means.
Brady, a
I
little,
know
a
where
little bit
you-
off topic, but you said McDonald's.
You said McDonald's.
Oh man.
Oh, you mean
Aren't you,
Macca's?
Yeah, you're
Macca's.
Australian. That was
Well, hold on,
Why are
hold
you
on.
correcting?
So like, hold on. All right. I'm gonna throw this out here. I've worked at McDonald's for like 4 years in college. If you guys have any questions about McDonald's, like I'm your guy. Like I have
Ooh.
the inside info. I know where we keep the fries. If the like freezer breaks down, I know where we keep them. And
the ice cream machine is never really broken, is it?
it just gets down taken to be cleaned early. But I have some funny stories if you guys want to hear them. If you guys want to hear them, I have them. Like
Yes.
for example, we keep the fries in the bathroom because they're the like coldest place overnight.
Wait, what?
Wait, are you dead ass?
Bruh.
Wait,
I'm
really?
dead ass.
Oh
And
This
no.
sounds like
And one
a
time-
California exclusive feature because
No,
it is.
no, Marcos, I'd believe that is for Chicago.
So,
Are you kidding me?
all right, and so like one time, our ice cream machine actually was down because it wasn't that great. I got it in for my like mid-afternoon shift, and I'm like, man, we have swirl ice cream. That's never happened before. It was like a weird, like mostly brown color, and I was like, that's really weird. And I was thinking like, I cleaned the ice cream machine last night. I didn't remember anything being weird. But I cleaned it, like, there's two cleanings. There's, like, the cleanings with, like, pills and stuff like that like, get all the cleaner in there.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a cleaner to just make sure that it's fine.
Mhm.
And basically, like, I was cleaning the ice cream machine. And I was like, man, this ice cream machine went through the ringer today. It was really weird. And so anyways, I was handing out the ice creams the next day. And it was, like, an off color. And I was like, oh, cool, we have, like, chocolate. It's nice.
Oh no. I hope this isn't going where I think it's going.
Oh god.
I sold dozens of ice creams all day, and
This guy.
a couple days later, I come to realize that something died in the ice cream machine.
No, dude. What the fuck? Are you sure you want to say that out loud on the
Phillip,
podcast?
that's a +1 YouTube is an actual criminal.
Hey, you know what?
Let's
The
let's
worst-
do like the introduction. Let's like introduce the person first before maybe
Yeah.
incriminating him as the guy who sold E. coli in McDonald's.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
the worst
wait,
part-
hold on. Let me introduce him. This is the guy who sold E. coli in McDonald's.
Welcome to the
The
Round
worst part.
Podcast. Been a long time, and we're back with our very first guest episode with Phillip.
Second?
Sorry, 8th, because technically Marcus is a permanent guest.
Your couch is very comfy.
But yeah, we are joined here today by Phillip, otherwise known as THATSAplusONE on YouTube.
How's it going?
Sponsored by Lazarus.
Sponsored professional Pokemon player extraordinaire. That's me.
Sponsored by
we have a runaway. I can't believe we have a runaway criminal on our podcast.
So, I suppose this is a good place for you to introduce yourself. I suppose if anybody doesn't really know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, for those guys that don't know me, I make super amazing Pokemon content on the daily, 5 a.m. PST every single day. And yeah, I've been in the Pokemon scene for a while. Started playing back in the Gen 4 days, end of Gen 3. Started playing VGC in about 2011, and I'm super happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
No worries, man.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
We're glad to have you. You and I have just kind of coexisted in this ecosystem for a good couple of years, and we've never been on the same video.
I don't think we've ever actually like talked really in person. We've talked in DMs, and like I've always felt that like this is gonna be like super weird. As I've always thought of myself, as long as I'm doing just a little bit better than Marcos, I'm okay. And there's times
that's
where
understandable.
he's doing
like, compare yourself to your peers.
Yeah, and then so there's times where he does way better than me, and I'm like, all right, I gotta kick my butt in gear. And there's times where I take sponsorships and I use other people to pull ahead.
And then there's times where I drop off the face of the earth like the past month.
Up top,
I'm not gonna lie.
here.
You are the #1 PokeTuber whose content that I still actually consume. So shout outs to your
I'm being consumed.
Yeah, shout outs to your most recent video. The one about the what is it? People talking about Gen 4 being like too easy or too hard.
Oh,
I was watching that right before
the-
it started.
Because the Mew and Jirachi.
Oh my
I
god!
can't believe
guys...
people are like that dumb. I can't believe people are that dumb.
Well, that's crazy because it's just because we play Pokemon at a competitive level. Most of the fans have never looked at base stats.
Yeah.
It's not even the base stats. It's the moves that they learn. They
They
don't
got
get
such
anything
doo-doo
good till
level
like
ups.
level 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing about that entire thing was that the guy who posted it was the same guy who was whining about the Sword and Shield DLC. He's also someone who modded the games that his player character would be literally without shoes. So there are more than this to judge him. Because oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you?
There's other stuff that I don't want to say on video, but is plenty of available to see on Twitter.
Yeah, no, he is not a great person. What's he
talking about?
Distant
We
Kingdom?
talking about? No, we talking about Dixtant Kingdom, bro. That's what we talking about.
Okay, bully podcast now. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll
No,
beat
the
shit out of
only
that guy.
the
You
only
kidding
good
me?
thing that's come out of that drama is people quote retweeting it with like videos of them putting a legendary into their PC box, saying this is how you not use a Pokemon you don't want to use. It's just a video of someone putting like a Reshiram into their PC. I don't know why it was so funny to me.
You choose the buttons you press, dude.
Doom Eternal.
As much as I don't like that guy at all, he's definitely not like the root of Pokemon fans being stupid.
Oh, of course not.
They've been dumb way before then. So.
Listen. Like, if you want to talk about Pokemon fans being like Pokemon fans, I think it all started back in like 1997. Like,
yeah, no, me and Murkiri were talking about this before the pod started. Like, I don't think. A large part of why I believe that like people like want Pokemon to be so much better than maybe it actually is, or just like, you know, their expectations are so much larger than anything else, right? Is because if you played the game as a kid, right, like you have this almost artificial understanding of what the game actually is, right? Like if you play it without like a guide or something, or if like you have no resources or don't know anything else about Pokemon, you're almost in this like fantasy world that is different from the one that you're in, right? And you kind of just have to figure it out. So it's much more of an adventure than like it otherwise would be to us as like senile older people, you know?
Yeah, well, here's my thing. I think that the games, these are children's games. These are obviously,
absolutely.
Look, we have to admit that, right? And we played them when we were children, and we loved them. Well, guess what? Pokemon was nice enough to basically, how do I say it? When you're playing through the game story, you get the story, you get the adventure, you get like all the whimsy of going through this world. But it gets very trivial as you get better at the game. Luckily for you, that's the game with the training wheels on, and they left basically so much stuff under the hood for you to research and learn and just use in the competitive scene.
For sure.
That I think the main issue is people aren't playing Pokemon the way that like someone who is good at the game and thinks it's too easy should be playing it. Like you should start getting into the mechanics of the game, because that's where it gets super interesting and like infinitely fun, in my opinion. Like you can play this game forever.
One of my friends recently started playing VGC, and like he's got that bug now where he's like go at work and he's like, I wonder how I fix this matchup on my team, you know?
Open up Showdown on phone.
Yeah, open up the Showdown on your
like,
phone.
One of us.
Yeah, it's crazy because once you start thinking in that way, like he's someone who I've talked to before, and he never said, he just seemed like he never really liked Pokemon, and then all of a sudden he's like, whoa, wait, this is really sick. So it's cool to see, like, once you start playing the game how you want to play it, you know, it's more fun.
Yeah,
dude.
And
my girlfriend's first game was Gen 8, and then I gave her like this Metagross Mimikyu team, and the first time, how do I say it? Like I looked at her when we were practicing for this for the Hatterene series, and I said, "Babe, Shadow Sneak your own Metagross." She goes, "Why would I do that?" And I'm like, trust me. And then she does it. She goes, no way. You know, like,
oh man.
And that is how you make a Pokemon fan.
That's how it feels teaching people Colossal.
I got 2 stories, all right, that I gotta tell that are relevant to what we're talking about. All right, so the first one is, so back in the day, like in like 2011, 2012, like I used to go to regionals all the time back when they were free, back in the golden days. Man. And I used to bring like a whole like group, like a van of people, all my friends that were like Pokemon fans that generally didn't play. And I'd bring them with me to events, and I would tell these people, I'd build their teams, so they would have teams that were like Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Cruise Control for cool, just like absolutely ready to like dumpster people. And I'm like, all right, just like read your opponent, like read their body language, and just press the move that would make them feel the saddest. And like we used to go to events. Yeah, no, we would switch. Not even ally switch. It's just like, all right, like if you got like Mamoswine Zara, just click Heat Wave like EQ, just like easy peasy lemon squeezy, just like rinse and repeat. And like these people would beat people, and then they would say like, well, my friend just told me to click these moves. I don't even know what you're using. Like, I've never even played this game before. And they would beat them, like, at regionals back when they were best of 1. Like, just straight villain material.
Best of 1 regionals were a mistake, but it was sort of essential for the growth of the game. So people
yeah.
I mean, I'm super curious, though. Like, did these people that you're giving these teams to and, like, doing this stuff with, like, did they end up playing Pokemon afterwards?
So,
like, did they get into it, or?
Not even close. Like, they have such a terrible, like, history. Like, the thing is, like, they would be, like, the people that would, like, barely like miss top cut. They'd go like 5-3, and they'd be like this weekend sucks, you know. But and also like what we would do is we'd bring like 15-ish people to events, and then we'd like basically what would happen is we'd already plan this out accordingly like before the event, and be like, all right, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna be playing each other in the tournaments, and so it's not gonna be like you're gonna give me the free win. It's not gonna be like that, but it's like I'm not gonna lose to you because I know your team because I made it. You know, or we all know each other's teams, and I'm just literally better than you, and so it would just be like that. So like they'd take the hard L to a teammate, and then they would be like, well, basically once regionals became pay to enter, they stopped wanting to play. That's literally the biggest thing.
Okay, that makes sense. That's like external factors other than the game itself, right? Because I was more so trying to like ask like, did they like how we started talking about this, right? Where it's like oh my gosh, you realize all that's under the hood. You realize, oh my god, Pokemon's a different game than just beat the gym leaders, fight the Elite Four, GG easy. Like
I will say that all these people thought they were a lot better than they were after these regionals and wanted to play like for the next regional.
We all thought we were a lot better before we went to our first tournament.
Bro, I thought I was the shit when I was.
I'm still no. I barely bubbled my first regional. I'm still waiting to suck. Like I haven't gotten worse than like top 64 in an event, like an actual event.
Flexing too hard.
Oh, I'm flexing way too hard.
Dude, my first tournament, I did way better than I thought I did, but I also didn't know exactly what I was doing because my first event was a mid-season showdown in Chicago. It's uploaded to my YouTube channel. And it was in 2017. It was Sun and Moon. I played a little bit in like 2016, but I never went to any tournaments. So I would like just do online stuff. But also I was still like very much a beginner. My EV spreads were suboptimal. But in 2017 is when I learned, hold on, I don't have to do 252. And
big brain, time.
Yeah, and my first tournament, I felt very fucking accomplished by the end of it because it was streamed. It was like a small Twitch channel, obviously, but it was a live stream mid-season showdown, and I managed to get on stream for my final round match. I lost my first game to Buzzwole Chansey. I believe I lost to Nails, actually. I'm pretty sure I lost to Nails. And then I managed to go undefeated for the next 4 rounds. And the final round before I figured out if I was top cut. I think I was already in cut, but it would have been like resistance at that point. I got paired up with Colin Hire, and I like vaguely recognized him because I wasn't familiar with the scene, but I'm like, I think I've seen this guy on like VODs. And I played him, and I managed to 2-0 him with this like Galisopod team that I made on stream. And it was like one of the proudest moments I've ever had. I'm like, I just top cut my first tournament.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I felt on top of the world, and it was such a stupid team. Like, it wasn't stupid. It was like a regular 2017 team. I had like Talonflame, Garchomp. The 2 non-standard things in the team is I was losing to Mimolax like a ton on the ladder.
Oh yeah.
So I put on a max defense, max HP, leftovers, unaware Clefable.
Oh God! In 2017.
In 2017.
Oh my God!
So whenever Mimolax set up on me, I'd be like, okay, Clefable, just eat the 20, just take the 22%, and then I would deal with it with another Pokemon. That was always my game plan. Didn't face a single Mimolax that whole set.
I hate that when you prep for a matchup and you never fight him.
All right.
But my Galisopod managed to show up to like 3 of the 5 games I played, and then I immediately lost in top cut. But I felt so happy because my first tournament, I got like 8 CP, and I was like, yeah.
Dude, top cutting a tournament, top cutting your first tournament.
Stream.
The first time I ever fought Colin was I fought him in round 1 of a tournament, and I lost a super close game 3 to where like I'm like, I didn't even play badly. Like, it was super close. I got a 1-turn sleep off my Butterfree sleep powder, and he beat me round 1 and dropped. And I'm like, is my tiebreaker just destroyed? Like, what even is this?
I hate that.
I hate that's happened to me. Yeah, I've missed cut because of that.
And anyways, I was like, I'm never losing again. I ended up winning the MSS. I win the next like 5 rounds, and then I just sweep the whole top cut. I was like, I'm not losing. I'm playing way too well today to do this. Yeah. So shout outs to Battle Room for that MVP.
Top cutting your first tournament, though, is a very easy way to get instantly addicted to competitive Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
I did that too.
Dude, my first ever event, I never really went to events until like 2018. But in 2016, my first event was a PAX tournament. It was for PAX Australia. It was 2016, so we were running Ubers. And I was running a Ray Urga team and got 3rd place there. Mind you, at this time, I didn't know that burns halved physical damage. And I thought that flying was super effective against ground.
Bro, it should be.
It should be.
This game is fucking like magical in the way that it can like get anybody into it. Because there is just this like huge wealth of information that you either have to know to play at a super top level, or just like don't know and do anyway. Like, that's so cool to me.
It feels good to know stuff.
What year was everyone's first tournament? I'm actually just like curious.
My first.
Yeah, you go first.
So my first one.
We'll go down the Discord thing.
My first was 2016, but my first with CP was like early 20. It was like 2018, but we were still playing 17. Yeah, it was a PC, and we were playing like the 2017 format, but it was like in 2018, like CP. It was that circuit.
Okay.
My first like competitive experience was 2015. I played at the very tail end of 2015, like literally the day after Worlds is the first time I started playing. And literally it was because I watched the World Championships for the first time, and it was when every team in like top 16 had like the same 6 Pokemon with only like 3 wild cards. And I was like disappointed for some reason. I was like, but this is Pokemon. Why are you all using the same thing? And I literally, like, that was one of the first videos I posted. It was like, I want to try to make cool teams. And, like, that's the whole thesis of what I do. And it hasn't changed. It just got better at it. And then I did that for, a year in 2015 and part of 2015, most of 2016. And then my first tournament was 2017 when Sun and Moon dropped because I was just so ready to like play the game because I hated 16. I really did.
Oh, I don't even know how I'm still alive. Like, to be honest, I still have nightmares.
Garbage format, Dark Void Smeargle.
My first tournament was in 2020. I'm a newcomer to VGC,
God.
baby. Let's go.
Okay, sweet. I'm not the baby. I'm not the baby.
I met this guy at that tournament, and I was like, this guy sucks.
Wait, no, you didn't.
Damn.
You weren't there.
Wait, was it not Collinsville? Was it not Collinsville?
My first tournament was before Collinsville. It was a Chicago MSS prior to that.
Oh,
and I got top 8, baby. Let's go.
And I was not there
Nice.
because I live in Central Illinois for 90% of the year.
Yeah.
But I
played
so.
a lot of singles prior. We talked about this before, Phillip. Like,
Yeah.
I was a ladder hero. I didn't enter any tournaments though. So first
Yeah,
tournament was VGC, thankfully.
Michael and I followed each other like years before talking to each other. Like literally,
Yeah,
like
you met me when I was singles player guy.
Yeah, and I didn't even meet you. I was just like, this guy's from Chicago and plays Pokemon. Follow.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Ash? When was your first one?
So, as Philip probably knows, SoCal is stacked as fuck, and
Oh
my
my
first
God.
tournament was in 2019, and I think I may have won a single game. I have the opposite
What event?
of all
What
y'all.
event was that? What event in
It was
2019?
probably some random it was a PC in
I went to a
Norwalk.
PC. I went to a PC at like a comic store or like a. What a weird. It's a weird store. I
It was a
forgot
card,
about
like a
PC.
card shop.
Yeah, it's like a card.
Yeah, I remember
shop.
you being there.
Oh man, that was the worst day of my life.
Oh no.
Well, that's us.
Oh wait, is
Oh,
that
man.
is that the thing? Is that the thing you were telling me,
What-
Ash?
what- the guy who ordered
Oh my God.
water with whipped cream.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna say this, and so all those people that like hate me can just go back to this. I was having a bad weekend. Everyone has a bad
Yeah,
weekend.
that's valid.
Yeah, you'll get one.
I'm away
yeah.
from home. I haven't had any sleep. I'm playing with Zorark, Giratina, and like Lugia.
What
like
the fuck
Yo.
are you doing?
I never
Ew.
saw
So
your
it's
team.
like-
That's crazy.
Ew,
So it's
choose
like-
if you're stall or not. Ew.
So it's like I'm having a not great time, right? And the tournament hadn't even started yet, and I just decided to come to this tournament because I'm in the I'm in the town for the weekend because I was just down there, and this guy comes in, and I just want to say I worked at Starbucks for 5 years. I've had to deal with a lot of people ordering a lot of shit, and the people that order like blended ice with whipped cream think they're so freaking cool, and they're not. Like I got other stuff to do. And I just recently quit Starbucks too, so I had that like angst. Like I had every amount of like righteous energy to smite that person down.
No.
And so I said-
I 100% get it, bro.
I
I called him out. And I was like, "That's not cool." Like, if you know what we would do if you ordered something else, we would mess up your drink. Which like, I still think that like other people that work there would.
I think people in customer service should have the right to beat the shit out of the customer. That
Yeah,
might
we
make
were
the
just
fucking
talking
customer
about
Right?
this.
act in line
cus-
for once, to be honest.
The customer can be wrong, and that was one of the few times. And you know what? I shouldn't have said. It's one of those things where if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I shouldn't have said anything. But that was a cool. I still did okay. I had some good games versus Ken's. I bubbled out of Top Cut at that event with like Zorart, Giratina, Lugia.
That's the problem with SoCal events, dude. You think
They're
you're
stacked.
doing well, and then you bubble. Everyone is
Oh, yeah.
going
Oh, yeah.
3-2. Everyone
yeah.
is going 3-2.
Chicago much.
I've
Yeah,
heard
no,
much
well-
horror
It's the same thing
stories,
here,
too.
yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
horror
Dude,
stories
honestly-
of SoCal.
I
Yeah,
will
honestly,
give
like-
context for that particular incident.
Go for it.
In our the guy who ordered it I think he was 16 at the time. He's a year younger than me, and
Yeah.
he had a whole meme going in the Discord about the venti water with extra whip, and like
Yeah.
he changed his name to his profile picture. I fought him round 1, and I almost got that round 1 win because he was late because he was buying the whipped cream. But he turn
my
1
God.
leads Kyogre Whimsicott. They are named Venti Water and Extra Whip respectively.
Yep.
I was like, but why are you going so deep into this? It's
Yo.
disgusting.
No, it's
Literally
that's
all
just
in on
what
a
people
meme.
do.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
what people
all
want.
in.
They get the attention, you know.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I can't stand hearing Starbucks orders. I love delicious crafted coffees. I appreciate the craft, but sometimes I hear people in front of me at line at Starbucks because all right, my order is very fucking lame, but it's I swear by it. This is my
Go
favorite
for it.
order.
Mhm.
It is an iced black coffee with 2 stevia and whipped cream.
You're a good man. You are a good man.
That is my
that's
favorite
an easy drink. That's a good drink.
It's a drink I make at home. And I order at Starbucks too.
I'm not a
If I was still working, I'd give
venti is.
No, I'd give you that for free. I'd be like, you know what? Good job, man.
Let me drop
the guy in front of me. And then the guy in front of me is like, yeah, hello, Phillip. I'll take venti grande mucho fuck you latte, please. Like,
I don't know what the words mean.
Some shit that takes 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's dumb.
All right, now let me.
Did you quit before the era of online orders?
Yes, So I had to deal with that, and so what we would do is like I'm the worst worker. I always like to say I'm the best worst worker. Like I'm literally the worst at being I'm the best at being the worst. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me at events, but I used to have like really really long bangs, and so I would grow my bangs out so long that when people just sat at like the handout area, they couldn't see me through my bangs, but I could see them, and like I would just leave them there when they had a mobile order.
One-way bangs.
Oh yeah, one like super super hard, and. Yeah, so I worked for about a year with the mobile orders, but like I'd quit since then, and I still feel bad for those people.
All right, so my hands are all the way up in the air, but I do want to ask this as an ex Starbucks employee, what do you think about my order? If him makes him like some deity for you, right?
Oh, go
what you feeling about coconut milk, single pump of vanilla, and lemonade?
What?
I am going to strangle you with my bare hands, and I don't even work.
Yeah, no, listen to it. Listen. He might back me up. Listen to him.
How do those work?
Listen to him.
Is it blended or not?
I don't remember. Probably.
All right. So if you blend it, I'm gonna say like, "Fuck you."
It's not like over. It's not like a frap.
No. So yeah, if it's not blended, I'm okay with that. I'm like, I'd ask you a question if I handed it out. I'm seriously.
I always get the question. Yeah. They're always like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, I would ask.
Like,
yeah. It sounds like you're drinking the ingredients of a lemon pie.
Now listen. Yeah, I love Ash. Thank you so much.
Is it supposed to be like a pina colada?
It literally tastes like a pina colada.
Yeah,
it does.
So as someone that knows like the full like realm of Starbucks flavors, that's pina colada. Like I've had to make. You're not the only one that's ordered that. Like that's a pretty orderable thing.
It's like a hidden menu.
It just sounds weird as shit when you list out the ingredients.
Yeah. I will say, since we were talking originally about like what year everyone started playing, I started playing in like 2000. Well, I started doing like competitive events in like 2005, and so it's crazy that you guys are like 2016,
we're
2020. Yeah, it's like I think we talked a little about it last week before we even like really started this call. Like I remember there didn't used to be a ranked mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you used to have to go onto the internet pre-Reddit, like barely pre-YouTube, and just find people. You used to have to just find people to play with and say, "Hey, I'm going to be at this location in real life," and go play these people to see if you're better than them.
BDSP moment.
That's literally.
That's ridiculous.
I'm a Dynamax Daniel.
Phillip, do you remember that brief moment in 2016, 2017? It might have been early 2018. It was 2017 or 2018. A best of 3 ladder website existed for roughly a month.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I barely remember that, and I already had a Discord at that time, so I was like, we don't need this, you know.
I was of the opinion that we already have like a ranked mode. And no one's gonna purposely choose best of 3 ladder over the ranked mode because of the convenience. So in my opinion, with BDSP coming out, just like a matchmaking website, not even best of 3, would do wonders for the VGC community. Be like, hey guys, here's the website that'll pair you with someone else who wants to play a game.
Yeah.
No ladder, just find you a match.
You can also.
I think that could be cool. I think that most people, believe it or not, I think they should just use the Smogon forums because there's so many new people there. Like, yeah, that's true. Smogon has VGC tabs and like looking for battle tabs, and that's just how I'm old. So like I generally, if I ever need anything Pokemon related, I will go to the Smogon forums.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a Smogon tutor right now.
So
are you?
Yeah, I haven't talked about it yet. ZFable. I just asked ZFable. I'm like, hey, how do I get involved in just helping people out with Smogon stuff? I've been, I don't have much free time, but I'm interested in like teaching people, even though I like make YouTube videos. Like one-on-one stuff's always fun. And they're like, yeah, here, go with this application, tell them I recommended you. And now I'm just in a Discord full of people who want to learn Pokemon, and if they ever, need help, they just @tutor, and I'm one of them.
Oh, that's sick.
I mean, I'm surprised there's not like enough people in like your Discord, that like just want that,
I don't use my Discord. It exists solely for people who want to know when my videos come out and want to like shoot the shit randomly. I will say I am one of the worst at maintaining a YouTube channel in anything other than just uploading videos, and I will drop off the face of the earth if my grade demands it. For months. I come in cycles. I
talked about
be like,
this.
Here's a month of videos. Bye.
I talked about this last week, and I said so many good things about you. I was like, I can't believe that he works like full time, and goes to school and like has a YouTube channel. It's like I didn't do super serious in YouTube until like I was done with college, like I was done with work, like it was. I already did my life before like I kind of came into like even doing YouTube, and I can't believe you actually can do all that and still manage everything.
I didn't expect it to take off is the thing. And when you are handed something like I guess I worked for it, but I feel like it was handed to me by the YouTube god. But when you're handed something like this, it's like, okay, I guess a good comparison. My girlfriend gave me 3 rats 2 years ago. They're all dead now.
Aww.
Well, 3 years, but they're all dead now. You know, they passed away, but I had them for a good number of years. I didn't ask for the rats, but they were my best friends after a day. That's how the YouTube channel is. Yeah. I was like, I wanted to post videos, and oh, holy shit, now it's paying rent. Okay, guess this is my best friend now.
I think I remember telling you, like, even a few years ago, I'm like, bro, just do, like, consistent uploads, and YouTube will take care of you. Yep. Like, it will work. Like, it's just how it works.
Man, I wish
Phillip and I go back so far, but we've never talked. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is
I've
weird,
had friends like that.
I even went back and like checked out like most of our DMs. I was like, man, I just vented to this person for like a year.
Well, it's weird because like most of VGC YouTube was heavily skewed towards like just 20,000 subscriber, 50,000 subscriber people.
Oh yeah,
around the 2016, 2017 era. And I think that you and I grew at enough of a pace and sort of helped expand the community in terms of content in a way that caused other people to want to do more content. And now it's like more of like a bell curve. Like the top of like the middle is where most people are at. Like Brady's at like 500, not 500.
Yeah.
Are you at 500, Brady?
I'm 500, 528.
Yeah,
you deserve
like
more.
Yeah, Brady's at like 500. Main event just hit 500. You and I are sitting at like 20,000. I think you're like 25,000 right now.
I think I'm like 26 or 27, but yeah, like we broke into the tier 1, right? So we broke into the tier 1, and there's a lot of people, like we were originally like the bottom tier. We were the bottom feeders, and then like over 2017,
people who are interested now.
Yeah,
there are more people interested in making videos. So there are so many people, like the distribution of subscribers, like Cloverbell's also hit 500. Like, okay. It seems like even like the smaller VGC YouTubers are no longer sub 100.
Yeah,
like,
there's a gap.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, we're like high middle right now because Wolfie expanded the top to like well over 100,000.
Oh
yeah.
Aaron just hit 100,000. The VGC community, as much as people say like it, you know, it's hard to expand in VGC because there aren't as many people. Sword and Shield did wonders. Sun and Moon did wonders. Like the fact that content has hit a point where our big guys have the chance to be at 500,000 and our middle guys are at like 20,000. That's huge. Like obviously we're not at Smash levels, but that's huge.
I always whenever
that for sure. Yeah.
Whenever I market it to like sponsors, other like companies, I was like, hey, I'm like, whether you like it or not, I have the 3rd biggest VGC channel on YouTube. And so like if you actually look at it, if you really, really look at it, like I do, like Marcos has like the 5th, I think. So it's like you're right behind James, right?
Actually, I think I passed James.
Okay, so then you have the 4th. So it's like you have like the 4th biggest like VGC like English speaking channel on YouTube.
Shout out to all the overseas people, by the way.
For real.
I also like I think like Francesco has like a really big channel, and as much as I want to consume their content, like I worked at McDonald's for like 4 years, so like I can hang on, but I don't get the intricacies of
who is that Japanese player who does these really good like Shade Vieira. I can understand his videos even though he does not say a word of English just because of how good the visuals are. It's amazing.
Yeah, he does a great job.
For sure.
I played against him in one of his games the other day. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
I remember. I know you post clips of him all the time, Ash, and it's really funny because it's like,
I
get his
hilarious.
Pain. Just based off what's happening like in the game and then his reaction to it. I'm just like, I could tell what you're saying.
Yep, goes past the language barrier.
I think the minute that I felt like I was like a VGC YouTuber, because before I was a YouTuber who made VGC, the minute I felt like I was like a VGC YouTuber is when I got paired with Aaron on one of his streams, and he goes, "Oh, it's Moxie," and I go, "What?
Yo,
What?" And I was like, "Okay, hero, thank you."
that's
Bro,
crazy.
have you ever played Aaron at an actual event?
I've never. Well, that's the thing. I am notorious for not going to events.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't.
Like
you
I
gotta
want
skip
to.
them.
I love
All right,
events.
all right.
I absolutely love being at them. I simply do not have the time.
Before I get into like the next thing next one I'm gonna make, I want to say straight up, like Moxie's like better than like 90% of the people that plays this game. And like I know you don't have like those regional top cuts to like back it up, and those people that say like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's just a YouTuber. Those people suck ass. Like you are so good. You are so good. And so I just wanted to get that out of there because I really feel that people give you a hard time.
I feel like I don't receive much of a hard time. Like it's like I feel like I understand that people probably hold that opinion of me, but I don't really hear much of it. And it's not like when it does happen, I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm good at the game. Like I have reached a point in confidence where I'll like say it to myself, like, no, you're good at this game. But when it does happen, I will put those people on blast and be like, hold up. You tell me I'm not good at this game? You're telling me that like when I like have a best of 3 versus, well, obviously I've never beaten Joe, but when I have a best of 3 of people like Joe, it gets close.
Yeah. Dude, almost with all of the good players in SoCal, it feels so good. Like I've gotten 2-0'd by Giovanni once, and I walked away like from the table to go, talk to other people, and someone walked up to him and said, "Hey, how'd the game go?" He said, "It was really close." I'm like, "You 2-0'd me and you were scared of me? That's an accomplishment."
I think you brought that up in another app.
Yeah.
It feels
yeah,
like
I think Aaron is like people kind of sleep on Aaron because like they watch all his videos where he just uses like rental teams.
He's fantastic.
His first like attempts at using a random rental, which is not something at all. Like 99.9% of those rentals are never in his playstyle because he has such a unique playstyle, and they don't understand what it's like to play Aaron when he's playing at his best.
They're playing Aaron when you're playing Aaron on the ladder. You're playing Aaron light mode.
Oh yeah,
like if you play Aaron at a tournament, I haven't experienced it, but I feel like playing Aaron at a tournament would feel about the same as like walking up to a nuke and having to disarm it.
Oh, it's like when you have to play Aaron at an event, basically like your first time you're gonna get decimated. The third, fourth, fifth time you have to dedicate like weeks of like work into like studying his playstyle to understand his items, and then you just have to make balls deep reads. Like when I fought him a few times at events. And it all comes down to me being like, I have to guess his items in the team preview, like, way too hard. I'm like, all right, is that Metagross bandit or policy? Like, I have to know and put the money on it, like, right now. Yeah. And so he's way better than he comes off in his videos.
For sure.
Which is obviously still better than everybody else.
Yeah, I am nowhere near Aaron. I will not even argue that I'm, like, a top player. I just think I'm very good at the game. When I play on YouTube, I know I'm playing like shit.
Yeah,
and that's just because I don't.
It's hard.
It's hard. I don't have an incentive beyond having people think I'm good and having people like, because most people just tune in, I would assume, for the content. Like, oh, hey, this is a fun video. But like, I can't help but feel like when I'm at a tournament, I play like 5 times as good as I do when I'm like actually playing the game. Like Michael, you've seen me in tournament.
You don't have to talk. You know,
that's exactly.
It's so much.
You can.
And I only have like 3 VGC videos on my channel, or like anything like that, or just even VGC content on the internet in general. I've never won a single game on the internet.
It's so hard to focus when you're trying to commentate.
Let's play right now. I'll give you your win.
I remember EV series, the thing that Necra held for No Dynamax Series 9. I remember I was recording videos for that. Half the time, I just didn't like speak at all in between turns. I'd have to like I had to cut up the video because I would barely speak, and then I was like, I'd like have to catch myself and like, wait a minute, this is a video, I gotta speak.
Brady, I know why that happened. I know why that happened, Brady.
Why?
Because you're playing EV series, so you get to the tournament, you're online, you're playing the game. And then all of a sudden something clicks, you go, shit, I care about this game because it's a good format.
Yeah, exactly. And I ended up beating Joe in that tournament. Let's go. Lele Pheromosa Guy.
I do remember that. That video was insane to watch.
Let me
Dude,
read
Lele
off my two
Murs.
favorite.
Lele Mosa is just Brady's bread and butter. Like when I think of Brady, because we met in 2017, Brady is the Lele Mosa guy.
That's me,
Man.
Let me read off my favorite YouTube comment
hold on.
ever. 45-minute video, yay! Maybe there's a win in here. Spoiler alert, there was not.
Oh, no.
I'm the Lele Mosa guy, I think. I think I'm the Lele Mosa guy. As weird as that sounds.
I'm gonna be real.
Beef,
I'm gonna be
beef,
honest.
beef.
I'm gonna be honest.
Not enough
Kinda
room
stole
in
it
this-
from you.
Yeah, I know you did. Like, I know you like fashioned like as much as you liked that off of like stuff that I liked. Like, I've taken that to like so many events, done so well with it, and bro, like it's pretty much just like an 80% win rate versus like most people. So it's like that's why it's a good team. It's a good team.
I can't play hyper offense. You know, this is a good topic. You ready?
Yeah.
This is a good topic to go down the line. Playstyle. Describe your playstyle as best as you can in like, we'll give everyone like 30 seconds.
Bad.
Roughly.
Ash,
Okay,
no.
okay, all right.
Um,
Ash, you might
I'm laughing
because
you're wrong.
You
No,
have
I'm
a
laughing.
playstyle.
I'm
You
laughing
have a
because you're wrong,
playstyle.
okay?
let's go the other way
Alright,
around this
yeah.
time. We'll start at THATSA.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna start with me. Okay, so I guess
like
like
down
my
to like
playstyle.
team building and how you play, like both.
Okay. I guess like the best way to describe my playstyle is I'm one of those people that I only go to like probably 4 to 5 big events per year, / like regionals / internationals. And so like I'm one of those people that puts months of work into creating a team that follows a flowchart. And so you could call that a hyper offensive team, but it's basically a team that where I want to go really, really in depth into saying, I'm going to get an 80% win rate. I want an 80% win rate across almost every single team. And certain teams are like a 0% win rate. I won't even be able to play those. Like, I'm not going to lie. I one time fought against like Galactic VGC at a regional where I ran twice at the start of the game because I was like, I cannot beat this, but I might be able to steal a win in top cut. And I'm doing well enough to where that's a possibility where I can get top cut.
So
So
like,
go for it.
Is the best way to sum that up like all in on certain matchups and then like purposely foregoing certain matchups because you don't expect to fight them?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, cool.
Yep. It's so like I will not even want to like calc for those specific matchups, which are so uncommon. Like for example, the match against Galactic, he was playing like Gengar Crobat near the end of 2019, where it's like, yeah, you might see it, but you're not going to see it at a regional past like round 1 or 2. And I was fighting him around 6, right? So it's like for example, like, it just wasn't something worth actually teching for an event. And remember, guys, like events are like regional specific. So when you go to an event, you're like, all right, cool. I'm going to like a Chicago event or a New York event or an LA event. So you have to plan for the different metas. And I take months to plan the players that are going. I do a lot of work and stuff like that. And so I plan teams to where I don't even have to think about the game. I literally just follow my flowchart based off the matchups, based off the players that are going to be at the event. And so a lot of people would kind of categorize that into an hyper offensive type playstyle. I don't really tend to play a lot of TR or hard TR at events, even though hard TR can be looked at as hyper offense. I tend to play a little bit more like, I'm a little bit faster than you. I don't really need to set tailwind. I'll set tailwind if I have to, but I'm going to roll you over in about 4 turns, which most people would look at as hyper offense. And, I've used a lot of fling techs. I've used a lot of like weird iron ball, like weird speed tier techs. But yeah, I'd say I tend to fall a little bit more into the hyper offense, and I tend to be a little bit more of a best of one player. But that's how I am. So I'll go over to the next person.
That's really
I like
cool.
that. From your videos, I feel it.
It's like hyper offense
that's-
with some spice on it.
It's
some
hyper
little
offense
trick up
with
your
extreme
sleeve.
spice. And so the people that do beat me, so like basically at an event, so let's say an event where I go like 6-2 or 7-1, I will go win and then I'll lose to like Wolf or I'll lose to like Zheng, or it's like, okay, cool, I lost a game to the best player here. I'm still in the top cut. I still got money. I still got CP. That's literally what I play for. I play for the top 8. I play for the rewards. I don't play to win the event. And that's literally what it is.
That's completely valid, because I feel like if you set the bar super high, you're going to be a lot more stressed than you would have,
This was a whole conversation on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I really play to like say whenever I tell people in like coaching sessions to like when they're trying to like play for events, like you need to win the first 3 rounds because that means your tiebreakers are going to be so much better. And I'm sure you guys have all talked about how like tiebreakers are super super important in VGC. Like if you win the first 3 rounds, you kind of bomb your next couple. But, like, you're going to have better tiebreakers than, like, most people in the tournament, which means when you're 6'2", and other people are 6'2", your 6'2" just carries more weight, and then you just win.
For sure.
I
What
didn't.
about-
I didn't cut my Chicago local, the last one I went to, even though I played phenomenally and only dropped one game, only because I got a round 1 loss because I showed up late, and I was so pissed because I took a 2-0. No, it was a 2-1 over like Alex Underhill. J Money VGC. I managed to get a win off of him. He's not a well-known player, but goddamn, dude, if you're listening to this, you play fucking phenomenally. Like, this guy's crazy.
Oh man, that guy reminds me. Have you guys ever heard of like a guy called Justin Wan?
Name sounds familiar.
It sounds
Before we
familiar.
get
Alright,
before we get too far away from it, though.
Oh, go for it.
Before we get too far away, Ash, I wanted to hear about your playstyle.
Oh yeah, let's. I guess we should go one at a time.
All right,
Finish
yeah.
the combo.
I'll finish my Justin Wan conversation later. It's worth having. So
yeah. Bad. I am.
No.
I feel
Wrong.
like such a baby listening to all of you guys talk about, I top cut my first tournament. I did pretty well. It's been the exact opposite for me. So the kind of way I play has kind of evolved into more of a balance, a little bit more on the defensive side, which I know is a fault, because if you play too defensive, you can definitely start playing to not lose instead of playing to win. But kind of balanced teams with a lot of pivoting, a lot of damage control. Good old Incineroar, Rillaboom, both of them have a pivot, both of them have fake out, just run around, do silly things. That's when I'm in my element, because if I can get into a good position and start sweeping, that's when I feel, really great about it. I've been playing Blastoise recently, and it feels really good, because the extra chip that it provides makes getting into a good position that much better, because then you don't have to worry about rolls as much because of that chip damage. So
because it can kind of do either, right? I was super curious how you would answer the question, because I've been using your Blastoise team recently. I just think it's like one of the best teams in this fucking format. So why is she calling herself bad if, like, good lord, this is like,
no, it's kind of like Marco's situation where if people think he's bad just because he hasn't top cut anything. I think I'm bad because I haven't top cut it. No, I top cut. It's in my Twitter bio. I top cut a series 9, an Ultra Series tournament, but it was held in 2020 and only 9 people showed up. And I got second because I lost in top cut to a slow bro. Shout out to the guy who runs Mono Water at SoCal events. I don't remember your name, I'm sorry.
Oh, who is that? But who is that? I've seen that person.
Yeah, he's amazing. And I was like, oh, sweet, I have a chance because it's a silly Mono Water team. And then slow
Real
bro.
life gym leader.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah,
Blastoise is a really good way to like sum up yours, I would say, because I watch you stream and stuff, and like it makes a little bit more sense after hanging out and using that team as well. Blastoise is the type of mon that, like, when it's in position, it could use its Gigantamax stuff and do hella damage. But for the most part, it is like a safe pivot. Like I'm activating my partner's thing more in more of like a balanced way. Like kind of go either way.
Yeah, I feel the same kind of way with things like Double Genie, where both of them have such good synergy off of each other, and the rest of my team allows me to adjust to, unfortunately, like, I want to just have a general plan for anything. So instead of having like I win versus 80% of the matchups and then I 100% lose to 20%, I want to at least be okay in every matchup. I'm trying to spread myself more.
I think that's normal. I just like what I used to play like that, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want to maybe get 6-2. I want to guarantee my 6-2.
Yeah, you're going for the odds.
I want to guarantee it.
And I'm curious about like my answer for this, right? Because like when I think of, because I don't usually think about playstyle in general at all when I'm either building or playing, right? It's like, okay, when that's asked to me, right? It's like, okay, what can I go to like try and sum this up? I think of all my official like Pokemon tournaments, like stuff run by TPCI. The first thing that comes to my head is Gothitelle. I've only run Gothitelle in official tournaments. I don't know anything else. So it's like
that's a good player alert. Right?
That's a damn good mod, yeah, right?
Yeah.
But like, what does that say about me as a player? Because I don't know.
So you know what you like and you know how to use it.
No. So Gothitelle, like technically, I think that would align more with like a hyper offense, because a hyper offense play.
I think
go
so
for it. Please say no.
I kind of think so as well, but only for like the first couple turns, right?
No,
when Gothitelle's on the field, like when the trap is active, it feels hyper offense. But when
think about Gothitelle says. It says your opponent can't do things. Yeah. And what does hyper offense say? Your opponent can't do things. You hit them before they hit you. You do the things you want to do, and you don't let your opponent reply. you have control.
Yeah,
right?
control is the right word.
It's like extreme control. That's what like a really polished hyper offense team looks like.
My favorite.
Yes,
so,
control is one of the best ways to describe Gothitelle. Field control is a vital thing, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to me because that's how I play. But yeah, Gothitelle is the definition of control in Pokemon.
I would make it
my favorite type of thing that I could say mid-turn is like, okay, yes, they can go for what their strongest option might be, but it will lose them the game because of XYZ, like that kind of thing.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
that might just be control. Okay,
yeah. You managed to get a pin, yeah.
I would argue that you could just straight up call that control, things that are restricting what your opponent can pivot into, pins, things that reduce their damage output, or things, status effects. Focusing a lot on restricting their options can also be its own kind of thing rather than killing them before they can do anything else.
Before Marcus gets into his, I want to say like there's a difference between like maintaining control and like the level that like I would go to for like a hyper offense with like I did everything beforehand. To like I would look at your team preview and I would know my first 4 to 5 turns of the game before we even started. So I could just look at you and read your body language. I could talk to you. I could influence your play by asking questions. I'm a big person that people don't like to play against. Like people will bust out their headphones. Yeah, way better. And so I think that like a full control is like probably the more balanced way to play, especially as the game has transitioned more into like a best of 3 format to where that's probably a better play style. But I'm really curious as to like what Marcos actually has to say about it because I think he's a really good player for control as well.
You could definitely get into people's heads and do conditioning like you can in fighting games and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's like a huge thing.
What about you, Marcos?
Okay, so mine's a little bit difficult to describe. I've described it a lot. In fact, back at the end of 2020, I made a video going back to all of my teams I made in 2020. And it was just like every team I made in 2020, I just described it and I talked about my favorites and how much I love it. And I felt like that was a good video where I really talked about how I play. But I do have one special folder on my Showdown, and I'm going to paste an image of it to the general if you want to take a look at it. This folder is called Beloved Teams. And
those are all the teams I attribute with you. So
yep. Evil Galissapod, Murkrow. Hell yeah.
So the way that I play, and the best way I can describe this is when I build a team, it starts in team building for me. If you know me, if you have watched my videos, and if you watched the few videos where I use a rental team, Mother of God, Marcos Boosted Moxie Perez cannot use other people's teams.
I hate it. People are like, use my rental team. Show me how to do it. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm like, your rental team is ass. All right, that's literally it. Like, I
could use a good team and I can't play. Yeah. I could use a good team and I can't play. No, I have to build my own teams.
You gotta adjust it to you. I totally get that.
I play very specifically. So the way that I build a team is I'm not building a team. I am kind of building a machine. A lot of my teams are very flowcharty, and my one thing, you will never see me play well when a team has one mode or a mode with kind of a backup plan. No, if you're looking at these three teams are literally, I have at least an option for every matchup I could conceive of in the current format. Yeah. The one that I'll describe first, because I call it my magnum opus because I used a Honchkrow in VGC.
You got to bring him back. You got to bring him back.
That's a control team. I use Gothitelle, Honchkrow, Mega Manectric, Milotic, Incineroar, and Tapu Bulu. And that whole core minus the Honchkrow was a thing in 2018. It was a control team. And the whole point of the team is you would cycle in your Mega Manectric and your Incineroar and just make sure your opponent couldn't get anything going because Mega Manectric has Snarl. I actually was one of the first players to tech Eerie Impulse onto my Mega Manectric because I was tired of losing to Komodo with Soundproof. So
was your Gothitelle like Imprison Room or just regular like Trick Room if you needed it?
It was Trick Room if I needed it because I do have a Tapu Bulu on the team, but it was Protect, Psychic, Heal Pulse, Trick Room.
Okay, cool.
And the whole point of the team is get the opponent in a position where they literally can't do anything because they can't knock out the Gothitelle and they can't pivot, and then either set up with Bulu or get a boost with your Milotic, or my favorite one is versus Tapu Lele Charizard teams, you would lead off Mega Manectric and Honchkrow, and you would go for an Eerie Impulse on the Lele, expecting the Charizard not to attack that turn. Eerie Impulsing the Lele would allow this bulky Honchkrow to survive a Moonblast. You would set up the Tailwind, and then you would go for Z Flying to eliminate it from the field, and then the Honchkrow had at least one. You had one extra KO that you could go for on anything. Now that I went a little bit too in depth on that for describing my playstyle, but that's like that team is a perfect example of how I play.
Mm-hmm.
The other two teams, I fucking love these teams because when I say I have multiple options, I mean I have multiple options. This Golisopod team that I took to Players Cup 3 qualifiers, it is a safety goggles Golisopod with enough bulk to take a Lecky Magnet Electroweb. And the whole point is if you lead off Golisopod Cole, you self Aqua Jet, get your boost, and you expect to get your Golisopod knocked out by either a Thunderbolt or any kind of other move that might knock you out. And if you drop below 50%, you get switched out, and you get an absolutely free switch into the Venusaur, which if you go for the Max Flare, now you have Chlorophyll and a Sea Powder spam.
I never understood why you chose Golisopod in particular, besides it was a Pokemon you liked, but that does make a lot of sense. It's like an eject button without having to hold an eject button.
I remember telling you to run that Venusaur for that specific reason, and every time you like give it grace, I'm like, fuck yeah, pat in the back.
And the thing is, it's also a hard Trick Room team, is the crazy part.
Yep.
Because Glacier was running around so much, I had to use it. Golisopod's the only Pokemon in the game besides Araquanid, but Golisopod does it better, that hard walls every move that Glacier runs. And the fucking Colossal, I had Bulldoze on my Dusclops specifically, so it would run under Trick Room. So the whole point of this team is it's got two big modes, and you can adjust to pretty much any matchup. Thievul, it wasn't just Lele Thievul, or it wasn't just Indeedee Thievul.
Mm-hmm.
You could do the fake tears, expanding force BS, but the Thievul, as soon as my favorite thing ever is versus things like Incineroar, they would always go for like Darkest Lariat or a Snarl into the Indeedee trying to stuff it because they couldn't fake out anything. You would hard switch the Indeedee out for the Cobalion, predict them to go for a dark type move into that slot. You get justified, and you actually go for a side beat up. It also had you could also beat up the weakness policy, Dragapult Max Airstream. You could, and it was, oh my god, I just love this team so much.
That's exactly why I love it.
Can I ask something about all three of these? Did you find while you were using them, you kind of like invented new ways to use them as you were like in a tournament or like in a competitive setting like that?
It was when I build a team that I really care about, and these are probably my three biggest project teams because I'm like a weekly team builder. Like that's how my channel works. When I build a team I care about, these teams have had multiple iterations. The Honchkrow team had at least 10 versions. The Indeedee team actually, it evolved over 2020 because I used the core multiple times. And the Golisopod team, I think, was the quickest one. I'd only had 2 versions, and this was like the one that worked. But like I think my play style is control, but I'm building a machine that can. I'm building a Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife. That's a good word.
I think first of all, these should be shown on screen if they aren't already shown on screen because like there's a lot that like people need to pick up on. But I agree. Like I think I actually like I'm not gonna lie. I think after looking at these 3 teams, I think you align more with me. And maybe it's just like maybe we've been playing the longest, so like maybe we're the more experienced players.
We know both good.
Yeah. So it's like. I would say that, like, yes, you're a little bit more control-y because you have a little bit more Trick Room options than, like, some of my teams that I've top cut events with. But, like, we tend to look at it the exact same way. And that where I think I didn't state enough to where I said, like, oh, I wouldn't play a match if it was bad. Obviously, I would still play matchups that were, you know what, not winnable. And I would still tech options. But, like, I feel that, like, the really good players have options for, like, almost everything. And, like, Marcos just described with all of, like, his different things that he can do. Like, those 3 teams are really, really well made for those exclusive formats. People that play those formats generally understand how they worked. I really like the 2018 version with that Murkiri team. I also think like there's different potentials in game 2. If they read you going for that sort of like eerie impulse, like play with the Honchkrow, you could just switch in the Boo to take terrain away. You know what I mean? And then like mess with them in a different way. And so there's so many little intricacies that people that actually play those formats would be interested in learning more about. And I just really, really like these teams. They're really, really, really nice.
The thing,
two quick notes before I'm done talking about my teams personally, because I don't want to take away. I'm going to talk about something really quick with the Honchkrow team. The reason I actually teched a move onto the Honchkrow that I haven't talked about yet. The Honchkrow's Perish Song.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice. It's good.
And the Milotic has Toxic, specifically because one of my buddies, who no longer lives in Chicago, HBC VGC, he would run Chansey all of 2018.
Oh yeah, and that was good. You know?
Yeah, and I looked at him as soon as I walked in the venue. I said, Trevor, here's my team. I have Toxic and Perish Song. He goes, I will forfeit as soon as I play against you because I can't win that matchup. And I'm like, good, that one's out of the way. I literally just told him.
Nice,
I just let him know.
Well, the thing that I would like super curious about with maybe not the way that you playstyle wise, but I feel like between both of us as like control players, right? The thing that I find the most in my play is like when I feel like I can invent like a new way to play the team on the field, like on the fly, that to me is a successful team. I don't know if that says anything about
for sure.
player,
Like
but,
an
like,
adaptable team. It's
and I feel like your innovation almost, or like the way in which you're inventing a new way to play the team comes in the team builder, right? It's like mine would be on the field more, yours is more in the builder, which I think is really cool. Because like
I personally think I just look at Pokemon a little bit differently than a lot of people, and it's not that I'm better at it, it's that I look at it different. It's just a different perspective. But I would say the ultimate descriptor of my team is I play the slow game and I look at my options and I find and I identify a win con pretty much at the beginning of the game, and I really play super fucking defensive and slow until I can pick something off of your team that's stopping me from doing what I really want to do. And then I kind of flip a switch in how I'm playing. I'm like, okay, that thing's gone. Now we're going to go hyper offense. Like I have to get rid of something and then I'm going to win.
Yeah.
I completely
Okay,
feel
I'm
that.
the same way. So us both being control players makes
true.
more sense to me.
Yeah.
All right,
And now
Murkiri.
I'm done talking about my team.
Yeah,
It is
Murkiri,
now
we've been
time
waiting.
for-
We've been waiting.
Honestly, it's like the problem. The thing here is most of the stuff you've been talking about right now. It's like literally the same for me. Like control, but more like hyper offense type of control. Like I generally tend to I like controlling the pace of the match. Like most of the teams they'll have like also another thing is that I team build different for tournaments as opposed to content.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
of
facts.
course.
Like
For
I'll
sure.
Oh, same. Yeah.
like when I build a team for a tournament, generally it will be like it will be like controlling the game with hyper offense. I'll have like a lot of fast options that
Lele Mosa.
Yeah, Lele Merza, just like
Fast is an understatement.
Lele Blim. I'd run Coco on teams of like Taunt and stuff, and I'd have like, well, for instance, my 2017 team that I ran for like ages was Lele Merza, Drift Blim, Arcanine, Garchomp, Coco.
Fast as fuck.
So everything's fast. It was an AV Garchomp with Dragon Tail. It was a Firium Z Arcanine with Raw Flare Blitz, and I think it was either Wild Charge or like
So you just didn't even give him
Wild
Snarl?
Charge Arcanine takes me back.
or like
you just
Snarl.
You didn't even give him the chance to get the trick room up, right? Like
Yeah.
between
So
Roll
my-
and Dragon Tail.
So my goal is to dictate the pace of the match and just deny their options in general. And when it comes to when Lele Merza's on the field, it's just like, yeah, I'm rolling you. It's like a constant game of like 50-50s almost. It's
Yeah,
like
Brady,
Oh, yeah.
I think
Who are
that's
you
why
going to
you and I
protect?
play so well together, not against each other, but like when we were team building that Steelix thing, like when we did like the team builder and then we played with it on Showdown, most of the time when we were playing that team, it was literally a matter of, oh, hey, that thing beats Steelix and it's gone. Okay, let's use Steelix. And then we would win.
Yeah.
That's why I think we play so well
Yo,
together. when
Steelix
we're,
is
like,
actually good right now.
Steelix
No
is so
lie.
silly.
yeah,
I
dude.
love
It's not even bad. Like
Yeah.
I've used it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, why do we just keep winning?
it.
I think
Yeah.
between the
Yo,
four of us,
Steelix unironically 1v1 Stakataka
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because you're not
Um,
dying to a body press.
I think
That's
between
beautiful.
the four of us, we have a nice gradient of like,
How much control?
well, okay, so I'm saying 4 because Phillip is kind of like a huge outlier here with like far
Yeah.
leaning into the hyper offense side.
Yeah.
But we're somewhere in
I-
like between that, right? Where like me and Ash are probably more defensive players. Marcos and Murkiri are much more like offensive, like get
Yeah.
into position, start rolling, right? I
Mhm.
feel like I'm having such great success with Ash's Blastoise team because of how much damage control.
Blastoise is just good right now. It's just super good right now.
I need to start countering Blastoise because everybody took the Blastoise pill.
Dog, some of the calcs that this Blastoise is fucking living out here are nuts. Ash took 49% from a Regieleki Max Lightning yesterday.
After I reimpulsed it first. I
did that same calc myself,
But yeah,
I'm just like,
beautiful.
God damn.
Wait, that implies that you would have lived it too. Because if it did
you're right.
after an Eerie Impulse, it's doing 96.
I feel like such a villain. I feel like such a villain out here because like all you guys are like, oh, I like using the stuff that I like with the playstyle I like, and I'm like, all right, how can I steal wins from players that are better than me like at events?
No, I respect the jank plays because that's what catches people off guard. The reason why people playing weird teams on low ladder can beat you so easily is because you have no idea what to expect.
I mean, you got to remember, I came from like a singles background, which was best of one.
Oh yeah,
it's the same way over there. It's for sure the same way over there, with the ladder being dangerous as fuck at the beginning, and then like
with VGC up until 2016, even halfway into 2016, like regionals were still best of one. And so like what I would do is, like I said, I build a team that wins the first 3 to 4 rounds, and then from there you kind of play it out. And so like what I would do was I would build teams that were like the number one thing you would hate to fight. Like the number one thing that was like, oh man, it's this guy at a regional? No way. And like, I'd be that guy. And then like, and I would do my best to like flowchart everything out so where I could do everything on autopilot. And then I would just talk to people. I would just talk like, how's the weather? How's your hotel?
Distract them.
Yeah. I got one guy one time to like not, you could press start and look at your trick room turns. That didn't used to be a thing. That was not a thing. I've won so many rounds off people just not knowing their trick room turns.
Oh, yep.
And just I remember Amari Travis, Bad Intent. He used to have like big dreadlocks, and he would take his dreadlocks and put them from one side to the other to count his trick room turns.
Yo,
that's so hard. Oh my god, I'm doing that. I've got the hair for that. Holy shit.
That's a stand, dude. That was a stand.
So like
stand IRL.
Not gonna lie, like when people take notes, people think for some reason you can't look at their notes. Like I can see what you're writing down.
I think that's actually
if you
cheating.
think you're cool.
I think
it's
you're
not.
allowed.
It's not.
Are you allowed
you're
to
not,
look at people's notes?
There's no rule that says that you're not allowed to look at their notes. It's just right there. It's right there. It's open playing field for everyone. That's why it has to be a blank sheet of paper. So so it's like completely fair. So like you can hide your notes, which a lot of good players do. But if you just have a blank sheet of paper, like I can see that you saw my item. I'm not an idiot.
Oh, well, yeah.
So,
I've started taking notes on what I reveal as well, and I feel like it helps me a lot because I'll forget, what they know. So
Amari,
that's cool.
Yeah, so like instead, like Amari would take and do all of his note stuff like in his head, like with his hair and stuff like that. And Amari, like for those guys who don't know who Bad Intent is, he's like one of the guys that really created how a lot of people look at like pinning and like what hyper offense is. Such an amazing player. I think he's so good. And so I guess getting back to like what I was talking about, like I'm such a villain. Like I've stolen so many games. I feel so unworthy to be here with all you guys. You guys are just absolutely amazing.
No, I'm gonna start. No, I'm taking some advice from that. I'm gonna start taking my glasses off when my opponent get tailwinds up and shit, bro. Like, that's
like
cool as fuck.
Get like the special glasses with like the lights behind them, so you got like the anime like.
Oh shit!
The lights in your eyes and then like push them up.
One
I
time
tailwind, I push the glasses up.
One time I had to play at a regional against I was playing against Cams, like former I think like senior world champion, and I was like, all right, hey, I want to be on this side. And he's like, no, I want to be on this side. And so we had to like kind of flip for it. We had to like Rochambeau for it. And he got that side. And I was like, but that side can see the regional stream and I'm the DS stream. This is not fair.
Motherfucker called it Rochambeau.
Is that what it's...
Get his ass! California pointed left.
What? That's not a Californian thing.
Is it?
But yeah,
no, I've never heard it.
Regionals back in the day used to be so different, and I just think it's such a different game. Like we had to fight to see who could see the regional stream.
Yep.
You know, like that's ridiculous. You know,
that's a Pokemon moment for sure.
Yep.
That's Pokemon moment.
They didn't really have it figured out yet, you know.
I think there's so much more to learn, like of the like outside the game mechanics that people just don't think about because there hasn't even been events in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that might also be another reason as to why so many more new players are coming into the scene, right? Because of COVID, right? Like
they have the time to.
If there's no IRL events kind of alienating those people that are like, oh well, I can't go to the event, so I don't really care. Right? Now you do have time to learn this like infinite wealth of information that is Pokemon, right?
Yeah,
so
it was
I guess
amazing.
that does make sense.
when it's definitely a Pokemon game on the Switch thing too, because my locals went from like Phillip, you've been to that venue, that really small card shop. Imagine 60 fucking people trying to pack into there, because that's what happened.
Moly.
That's what happened when we started. This is a very small little local card shop, and when Sword and Shield came out, our numbers went from 20 max, 30 max to 60s and 50s. It was insane.
That little shop seems like going into like a Metro PCS store. You know, it's like that small.
Yeah.
I'm imagining this in terms of our local.
That's such a strange analogy.
All right, hold on. I told this story last time when we weren't streaming, but like my local used to be at a Carl's Jr. Across the street from the YouTube headquarters.
Based.
And so they had like big screens, and so we would put like the big stream like on the big screen and stuff like that. It was awesome because it was like the YouTube Carl's Jr. was nice. And so the number one thing about being in a Carl's Jr. that was cool is after you like dumpstered your opponent on a turn, you could just pass them a salt shaker. And
that's the crazy shit. You're literally gonna turn me into the guy that like just like brings props and shit to tournaments, bro. Because that's the funniest shit I've ever heard.
All right.
No,
I went to.
I've talked about my Z Crystal before. I had a Z Crystal ring, and I would wear the wrong Z Crystal on my hand.
Oh man! All right, I know I'm talking so much. I got two stories. I'm gonna talk about the Z Crystal first, right?
One time, go ahead.
All right, I was fighting a regional in 2017, and I was undefeated. I was like 5-0, and there was first of all, I just want to say, like, there's a lot of stipulations about like girls in regionals and people looking down on them, and I think the Pokemon community does a better job than some of the other communities. But there's still that thing, like no one wants to like fight the girl, and I always think that's super dumb because like girls are better that most of the time than like guys. And I didn't want to be that guy that like messed up the girl, like, but I ended up fighting the girl next round, and she had a Z Crystal, and every single time she had a Z Crystal, she would stand up and do the whole dance. And so I remember fighting against that person, and so I fought against her. And again, I'm respecting this person 100%. They have a full amount of my like, I'm gonna win, like this is gonna happen. I'm not gonna let her Z Crystal Z move on me. Mm-hmm. So I saw her turn on her Z Crystal ring. And so I was like, that's the turn she's going to Z-move.
Oh,
right?
Wait,
and so I dumpstered the Z-move Pokemon, and she she didn't stand up. And then the next round, she didn't even turn it on. But the thing is, after the round, I was like, you know what? I was like, I saw you turn on the ring. And she's like, damn it. You know, it's like,
the style points aren't worth it.
You know? Yeah, but the thing is, like,
don't kill the part of you that is cringe. Kill the part of you that cringes. I love that Z move dancer. Yeah. I love them so much. Fuck yeah.
What was the other thing that I was gonna say that was super nice? I don't even remember. But what were we talking about before? Like a second before this.
Play style. Oh yeah, like the salt shaker stuff.
Oh yeah, before that. After that.
Venue, a bunch of people showing up, having time to do.
Oh, the venue, tiny ass venue.
I don't even remember. If I remember it, I remember it. But anyways, yeah, that girl's super good. And like, I still think that it's so weird that like people, you know, don't treat girls the same as like, you know, like SoCal, for example, has a ton of like super good girls that are like way better than guys.
Haley scares me. I love her to death.
No,
she's
I
terrifying.
fought her so many times.
Haley Haymaker.
Yep.
I want to say something about Haley. I fought her at a regional one time, and I was like, I fought her, and I was gonna give her the win because she had like a better tiebreaker than me. I was just gonna give her the win because like we're friends, and then like. She like left and like didn't like she like signed the thing and like just left and I was like, no, wait, hold on.
Oh no.
Like because like I knew she was gonna win. I knew she was gonna get in top cut. She had it, and I don't know if she'll ever watch this, but she's so good. We've top cut multiple events together. Yeah. And I felt so bad because I was like I ended up having to time her. I don't know if you guys noticed that the Sword and Shield like timer changed at this game compared to like last one to where like health mattered more. Did you guys notice that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, like,
chest timer gone.
So, like, on the last turn of our third game, I Dynamaxed, right? I just saved it, and I ended up winning.
I didn't even think about that.
And I was gonna be like, oh, you can have it. Like, you can have it. Like, I was playing Appleton.
Dynamax activating on when the timer's running out is something I don't think I've ever seen ever. That's crazy.
Terrifying, yeah.
You saved that shit for all 20 minutes of a game? That's hard. That's hard.
Hey man, if your team is like Gastro Dusclops like Appleton, like you could save it.
Appleton, shout out to my boy.
You have like two months that don't want to Dynamax, and then there's like a couple of bulky guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I think that's the biggest weakness of Sword and Shield as a competitive game is how much we rely on Dynamax when it's available to us. to the point where like it restricts your team building in a way.
Oh
I
yeah,
100%
I always
agree.
think like, oh
agree.
fuck, I need a Dynamax one.
Wait!
now.
I get to ask the question now. Hey, guest. Hey, Phillip. Hey,
Oh,
hey,
here we go,
first
here we go.
podcast guest. Do you like Dynamax? There is a correct answer here.
Well, there's a correct answer here. Michael doesn't have it.
So
Okay.
I think Dynamax as a mechanic is more balanced in 6v6 singles, which I think the majority of people that play the game look at, than it is in VGC.
Rest in peace 6v6 singles though.
And yeah, it's banned in 6v6 singles, which I still think it's broken. I still think it's dumb and should not exist, but I think it's more deal withable in that format than it is in VGC.
Really? I thought it would be more
Facts.
all-encompassing in singles than it would be in
Well,
VGC.
all right, in 6v6 singles, you can put Protect on one Pokemon and waste all 3 of their max turns,
That
or a
is
sub
true.
on a fast Pokemon.
That is
sub
true.
on a
Getting
fast
underwear
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Getting
I-
underwear Pokemon with Toxic too.
So I don't know if I 100% agree that it's more broken over there, or less broken over there, only because it wasn't around enough for me to formulate that opinion. Like that shit got banned fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big reason as to like I would almost agree with you if I had more time to play with it, right?
I
'Cause-
still agree that it's broken. It should not be in the game. I'm just saying, like, you have to tailor your team building toward it in singles, just like you have to do in VGC. And singles players were like, I'm not doing that shit. Fuck that. You know?
Yeah, and that's
They're
just
252
the
brain.
token singles player.
Yeah, it's a
right?
different
Yeah.
kind of. It's a different kind of game.
It's
Yeah.
a different culture over there. But
Yep. So
I
the-
will say I am memeing. There's not a correct answer here.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
the
yeah.
token Dynamax stand around the place. So.
No, I respect you.
But I do
Right.
remember something that you said the other week when we were talking about this was or something I think I said. I don't remember. We were talking about this, right? And it was like
Yeah.
when everything's broken, nothing is.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
type of thing that I've been like thinking about, and that's
Yeah,
kind of what
like
you reminded me of.
Dynamax is like when every character in a game is broken, and so like every character has the tools to win. Some people don't like that. Some people do like that. You know, players that tend. It's funny that you like are a more control player and that you like that. I think that's funny.
I love
where
it, dude.
people, yeah.
I mean, you
But,
think
like,
about
that's
Gothitelle. It makes perfect sense
Yeah.
with Gothitelle, right? I get to click
Oh,
half
yeah.
the hand, they don't get
Like-
to switch, and I get to Dynamax my guy to the left. Fuck yeah. Like,
that just means you have more skill, right? That just means that like you're better. That technically means you're a better player than other people, you know, and
aw,
that's good.
Thank
That's
you.
a good
Thank
thing.
you for calling
know?
Dynamax Daniel the better player. Thank you. You hear that, Twitter? Suck my dick.
Dynamax Daniel.
Dude, they're gonna all 3 of them are gonna meet up next time they can, and they're just gonna start like fighting each other. I'm scared.
Wait,
Man,
who?
speaking about the next
We've
time,
talked about it.
like the next regional, March, right? Is that March?
Oh
believe
shit! Is
so.
it March?
It is in March.
Who wants to drive me to
March,
Salt
alright.
Lake Shitty? Because that's the closest one.
I'll be at Salt Lake. All right. The last Salt Lake regional I went to was in 2016, maybe 2015. I don't remember. But like the PC, the like mid-season, like the day before, back when they were elevated PCs, had more people than the actual regional.
How? What? Huh?
It had more people. It had over 300 people. And that's because
Holy.
regionals. So TCG and VGC used to be on different days.
Oh,
They used to be just
yes,
completely
yes.
different. And so, like, we got all the TCG players that, like, kind of had an interest. And I think VGC regionals should do that again.
Mhm.
As a player who played in both events, I would really, really like that again.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to say something.
Cool.
So the first regionals in Salt Lake, right?
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that we will not be playing a Dynamax format.
I hope so.
Controversial, right?
I hope so.
Controversial opinion
I
that
really
I think
hope
we
so.
won't be. And here's why. To quote the great Drake and Josh, nothing bad ever happens in Utah.
Oh no, I can say so many bad things happen in Utah. All right, when I went to my first Utah regional, I didn't have smartphones, neither did my roommate, and so we had to use a map, and that was terrible. And then like we found
Back
like a
in my
bloody
day.
knife in like our hotel parking lot.
Hey,
And,
yo!
like Utah's my least favorite place in the world. And
Hey,
the
but they
only
did
thing
Dynamax, but there was no Dynamax back
there
then.
was no Dynamax. You're right.
The bloody knife? Was that a rusted sword? Was that to slay the Dynamax from the city?
This guy found Zacian IRL, bro. What's going on
I
in
was just
Utah?
there.
Oh my
I
God.
wanna. Back in the day, we used to have a lot more like side events that were official like TPCI setup events from like the judges, and I won a Little Cup event at that Little Cup at that.
I want
Utah
Little
tournament. That
Cup.
was
I want to
fun.
play Little Cup so bad. It
Oh
looks
man!
so fun.
All right. If you like Little Cup, what do you think when you think of Little Cup? Do you think like Smogon Little Cup or like just Little Cup as an unevolved form?
Because that's
Think
the
about it.
tricky definition.
Think of it. That's the all right.
Because
So
if
at
you
the
give
tournament,
me
I
Little
rolled.
Cup and you let me use Type Null, I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck.
All right. Yeah. So I rolled up with like Onyx, like Scyther, Tangela, like all the bros that got like full evolutions, and I just rolled that thing over.
Yep,
it was amazing.
All the little friends. That's the main reason. I just a lot of Pokemon that you would not think could function, like even in their fully evolved forms, can now function in Little Cup, and that's what I think is interesting about it.
Oh yeah, like Tangela, it was doubles Little Cup, so I used like Vulpix Tangela.
And
it was like super busted.
I'm
So-
using my guy Zigzagoon with Belly Drum Extreme Speed, brother.
Ziggo mode!
You would lose the
Ziggo
Onyx.
mode.
You would lose the Onyx.
Really?
Onyx
How is
would-
Onyx
yeah,
good
Onyx-
in Little Cup? I don't understand. It's
Body
such
So,
a
press.
all
body
right.
Sturdy.
Orin,
No, I
Orin
got the
Berry.
answer to this because I also played singles. Sturdy Berry Juice.
Yep, sturdy
Look
berry
at his
juice. Yeah,
shit.
sturdy. Yeah, so Marcus already gets it. Yeah, so it's like, or sorry, what's that? Atrix. Already gets it. Like
I'm dying. I'm withering away.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
at
yeah.
least he didn't call you Moxie. That would have actually
That would have been crazy. That would have been a shot at you, and he wasn't even talking to you. That would have been nuts.
Yeah, but yeah, sturdy berry juice. You basically get like 3 Onyxes out of your Onyx. So
Yeah.
Sturdy Berry Juice sounds like a porn name.
Yo,
I don't want to
that's
think about
just
that.
you, homeboy. That's just you.
I get it.
All right.
Handshake.
Just silently, just go silent.
All right.
I get it.
the last thing about Little Cup, is all the mons on my team had like Metal Gear Solid nicknames. So it's like Solid Snake was like Onyx, and like Liquid Snake was like an Ekans.
Oh, I
and, like,
love that.
Metal Gear was like some other steel type that was bad. Like I used on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I love that.
Who was?
Psycho Mantis for people that liked
Psycho
Scyther.
Mantis.
Yeah, there's it. Scyther was Psycho Mantis.
That's perfect. I love that.
Psycho Mantis.
What's the name of the main character in Metal Gear Rising, dude? What's
I
the
don't even
main
know.
character called?
Oh God.
That's a
Don't you dare.
Phillip, you would know. You listed a lot of Metal Gear. What's the name of it?
dude.
Oh, shit.
That game is a travesty to any Metal Gear fan. The Metal Gear Rising. We don't even talk about it.
Oh,
You know what? I'll just do it again. Are you talking about Raiden?
Oh no! You know what? I was talking about Rising, but like Raiden, like
Raiden, this dick.
no,
Let's go! We got him, boys.
no.
I hate
All
everything.
right. Raiden wasn't even in Metal Gear Rising. If I'm
Go nuts. Go
citing
nuts.
correctly,
Raiden was in
it's Metal Gear Solid 2
2. Yeah.
and
He's
Metal Gear
like
Solid
the-
4. But Metal Gear Solid like Rising, I don't think that game was the worst thing ever.
I haven't heard good things.
Oh man, I don't even want to talk about it. I think I just like completely overstepped the whole joke that you were setting up. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm a
Absolutely.
boomer. my hatred for Metal Gear Rising just like fueled me through your joke. I'm sorry.
It was a Ligma joke. Instead, you don't even worry
No,
about it. Too much.
it's all good though because it's a pretty good segue into like, hey, we're not all just mono addicted to Pokemon, right? What other kind of games do you play? Like,
Oh man.
Oh.
I mean, so I'm a big fan of the like Outer Haven channel, which streams like a lot of like super serious Metal Gear Solid content, where they do like super hardcore playthroughs of Metal Gear Solid and all the other Metal Gear games, where they like 100% each run and talk a little bit, but they'll do like, all right, 20 hours, we're gonna beat this game, and we're gonna beat the other game, and do like a little bit of a marathon. And have you ever heard of that channel? It's really, really nice to fall asleep to. 'cause
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't
I
talk
love
that much.
playthroughs
Yeah.
to sleep to. It's very relaxing.
So-
Oh yeah.
So it's more
my,
of like a
my personal video game addiction at the moment, as far as content and just the game itself. I watch Super Metroid and just any kind of Metroid speedrun religiously. Oats and Goats has serenaded me to sleep many nights.
Well, there you go. So
And-
like
Metal Gear is like
Oh,
a
go
technical
for it,
shooter,
go for
right?
it. No. So Metal Gear is like it's not like a tactical shooter. It's more like a stealth game. It's like a stealth game.
Oh right.
Um,
Okay, I have heard this before. Okay.
Like if anything, like even in like the 100% super serious runs, they very rarely use the gun. They kind of just keep it really, really calm, and then the cutscenes happen, and there's just like a little bit of talking.
Oh neat.
But the Metal Gear Solid games are cool. I guess I'm more of a Metal Gear Solid fan than it's the 20th anniversary of the Metal Gear Solid 2 games like a couple days ago.
Oh
so
nice.
There we go.
Nice.
Very cool.
Shout
guess-
outs.
I guess my version of that would either be well, I've got like my thing is that I'm involved in like a lot of things. Like I play Smash, I play a bunch of like FGC games. I don't play it, but I watch a lot of like Valorant content as well.
I've never once seen that game.
This guy's a competitive gamer.
That game doesn't exist.
I like competing.
I hear a lot about it, but I can't prove that it exists. I agree.
It's like, I mean, you probably know, but it's like CS:GO, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Valorant is the North Dakota of video games. It simply isn't real.
That is true.
So, Murkiri, what I'm hearing is you like harming other people.
Oh my god! Excuse me?
No, I prefer not to harm.
Brutalizing opponents in combat.
All right.
Where's this coming from, Michael?
You like shooting people? Is that kind of like?
I feel like
It's therapy now.
I'm talking way too much. But like,
if we were monetized, we would have lost it right there.
Yep.
I think we'd have lost it at the start with like the McDonald's talk, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
True.
dude.
But-
you're telling me you sold E. coli out of an ice cream machine like a fucking Kids Next Door villain? Like really?
I mean, that was I don't know how to explain it, but like, I was like, man, when did we get chocolate? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's like brown. And they're like, it's not supposed to be. I was like 17. What do you expect? You know, I was just serving ice cream.
Yeah,
But-
I get that.
In terms of like games, like
I wasn't incriminating you, by the way, Murkiri. I was just memeing your game taste.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
I feel one thing though, like ever since I've gotten a lot older, like I know, so like I live with my girlfriend, and so like, you know, she doesn't
Scandalous.
she doesn't like the video games as much, and so like I personally used to fall asleep to like Skyrim like let's plays or like walkthroughs like from like Fledge Muppet. I used to fall asleep to that like really like deep voice person talking about lore, and like I don't get that anymore.
Hey guys, Moxie Boosted here. Today we're going to be talking about why you're all wrong about Galisopod and I'm right.
See, like that's what I want.
VGC
I would
ASMR
like
is
that.
the niche that doesn't exist yet.
True, it's not. Okay.
So, all right. We talked a little about this like before we started recording, like, but like niches that exist in like the VGC community. Like, there's so many things that people just want to consume. Like, for example, your podcast is a really, really good example of like stuff that people always ask for, and there's definitely like a need for it. I think there's a bunch of other outlets as well that people
You
really
mean a
have an
not
outlet
VGC podcast?
Yeah.
for. Close enough. I mean, we talked enough. We talked about Hodgecrow. That's close enough.
Yeah. For sure.
We talked about playstyles.
We are a VGC tangent. Like we're
I
next to
am
it.
very much a fake ass gamer. I play these games a lot more than normal people do. But like,
Michael confirmed ass gamer.
I'm bad at like
Why would you
every
say
video game I play. So like
Same.
Pokemon included, right? Like
Put it
I'll
there.
talk about it, sure, but I can't talk about Pokemon exclusively all day. You know?
Yeah,
So I know what you're saying there. Yeah.
I feel you. I am on your side because I play a lot
Well,
of
like you stream like a shitload of games, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
all fucking Fire Emblem. I
and that's
really do
different enough
like
from
it.
Pokemon,
It's tactical RPGs I've been wanting to play a lot more ever since I started playing Fire Emblem, especially the older games that were out on the SNES, because I always, heard about them. It's like, oh, it's an old game, it's probably not all that great, and then I started playing, I'm like, holy shit, I love this. It is
Holy moly.
Yeah,
Have you played the
fun.
old Tactics? Have you played like the old Tactics games and Tactics Advance?
Not yet, but I
Oh,
definitely
man.
want to. That's like on my
As
bucket
someone-
list now.
So, like, you know how, like, old Pokemon games are like, yeah, this is all right.
Mhm.
And then, like, the new Pokemon games, like, you can use the PC anywhere, and you can do, like, all these other, like, cool things that make the
Like
game just, like, quality of life
stuff.
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
So, like, Tactics and both Tactics Advance, the quality of life from, like, them to Fire Emblem is, like, absolutely, like, amazing. I love those games.
Ooh, okay. I'll keep that in mind for
You should
sure.
try them. You should try it. Like, it just feels really nice to play them.
Yeah.
We've got to get like a Fire Emblem player on the podcast so that Ash can gush about Fire Emblem like, for an entire episode.
I do it enough on my own. I don't need any more outlets. I've been
bought-
chilling Outer Wilds as it is, so
I love
What is
the
it?
blue-haired sword game.
blue-haired sword
What is
boys,
that?
shout out to them.
I have Fire Emblem, what is that, the Radiant Dawn?
Mm,
I have that game. I've never played it.
that's one I
own
haven't
it.
played yet, but I've
also
heard
have Fire
very
Emblem.
good
I
things
have
about it.
it's
He
expensive.
is locked in my basement, and I will not release him until you remove every one of him from Smash.
No!
Wow. The
Fire Emblem is in my house.
Who
Your
is-
move,
Who is
Sakurai.
everyone's Smash main?
Oh,
That's a
you're
good
gonna
question.
hate my answer.
Yeah. Murkiri, you
Fox.
first.
Fox
Based.
McCloud.
Fox.
I'm
Alright.
a gamer.
Mango Nation.
I've been a Fox
True.
player since watching like Larry Lure in Smash 4.
And now it's
makes great
Marcos'
content.
time to
And,
embarrass
like-
himself.
Why are you
It's
bullying
not
him?
embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. It's based.
Okay.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna guess. Hold on. Do you play like the Simon Belmonts?
No.
Okay.
I'll give you 2 more.
No, that was my guess. I'm actually
was
gonna use
it?
both my guesses to use that same guess again. I really feel like you would play the Belmonts.
No, I hate them.
Okay,
They're
good.
lame.
No, you're a
They-
better player than I gave you credit for.
Simon Belmont has no sauce whatsoever.
No, I agree.
Drum roll, please, for
It's
ladies and
just-
gentlemen.
Ready?
It's
I play Duck Hunt religiously.
Oh my god, same thing! It's the same thing! What? Same thing!
What? Nuh-uh. Listen.
Two of them.
If you're
Two
playing
of them.
Duck Hunt, you have to have sauce. That can is a work of
No,
art.
I agree.
When you put the can at ledge and they decide to recover high, so you just up tilt and catch them above you.
we have all 2
All right.
American Duck Hunt players in call right now. That's insane.
All right. I will give you that Duck Hunt is Simon Belmont with sauce, and you can take that. Like that's literally what that is.
Okay, but one of his taunts has the duck pogging, so it has much more sauce than you give it credit.
I'll give you double sauce. But that's all you get.
Now, see, I know I have 0 sauce at all. I play fucking Pikachu and Pyramithra. I'm carried as fuck. I'll admit it.
All right,
I
all
suck
right, all
dick
right.
at Smash Bros.
Same. Put it there. Put it there.
Hell yeah,
All
handshake.
I've actually
All right.
never.
Go for
I-
it. You're the best. You're the best Smash Bros. Player here.
I
so,
mean,
like, talk.
I said Fox. I also play a little bit of Me Brawler.
Hell
Don't
yeah.
you also play Joker? Don't you also play Joker?
I used secondary Joker for
Okay.
a while, but
He became the Joker.
I wanna know who Ash
I'm just
plays,
a
to be
massive
honest.
fan of Persona, not a Persona fan.
Yeah.
Those 2 things are very different.
True.
So, playing the Persona character is just really, really awesome in my mind.
Yeah.
Really cringe.
I bet
I've
Ash
played-
plays. I
What is
bet
it?
Ash plays like fucking
Kirby.
Meta Knight.
That's the
No,
guess,
that's-
right?
Actually, that was my
Wait,
guess
no.
as well.
Nah,
I already know Ash's man.
nah, who's like the most technical character in Smash? Because if anybody would be like the like, oh,
Sheik.
I'm not good at, yeah, I'm not
Oh,
good
hell
at
no.
Smash.
No, no,
oh,
no,
blah,
no,
blah,
no,
blah.
no.
And but like
Guys,
secretly
guys,
goes
guys.
to tournaments.
Oh,
and, like,
hell
gets
no.
top
No, no,
16
no,
at like
no.
every tournament. It would be
she
Ash.
plays Crom.
No, no.
Oh man.
I hate Crom. I hate the fact that he's in Smash. We don't need 3 Fire Emblem characters from the same fucking game. That it
We have,
The
like,
Fire
nice
Emblem
to be
fan
okay.
said it. No, it's the Fire
No!
Emblem fan said it. No, it's not the Pokemon players.
Lucina, Robin, and Crom are all from
Okay.
the same game. We don't need all
Wait.
3 of them.
Ash?
My main is Dark Pit because I am bad at the video.
Oh
game.
my god. I
See?
can see it. I can see
See?
it. Yeah.
Base!
Yo,
Electroshock.
you say this, but yeah,
That's not what he
electroshock.
says.
That's all I press. That's all I press. Side B. Electroshock.
Okay.
Electroshock.
Alright.
That's all I
Okay,
do.
but that's not what he said. He didn't say shock. I'm just gonna point that out there. Am I the only one that heard
I'm
that?
ignoring it. I'm choosing
one
to
else
ignore
heard
it.
it.
I'm
This guy got
choosing-
penis on the brain, Your Honor.
Why'd you say your honor?
It's what my girlfriend says when she plays them. She'll just yell electrocock, and I'm like, shut up.
Jesus Christ.
I need to do that
Refrigerator
now. I'm
slam,
stealing
brother.
that
I mean-
now. Holy shit.
I will say Murkiri is definitely like I think better than me. But I'm a player who has won a lot more games at Evo World Championships than they've lost. I think I played in like 3 Evos, and I usually go like 3 or 4 wins, and then I just get to a point where like, okay, I'll fight the professionals. I can't win anymore. I usually play Cloud because that's because I'm old.
No, I like
Base.
Cloud. He's silly. All I know is that he was annoying in 4.
50% of the time.
Yeah, Cloud's fun. But I think you can learn a lot more about people, about who they play. I actually still don't think my Belmont guess was that much off for
No. Here's the thing. Here's the main difference, right? I am a masochist for playing Duck Hunt. Like, Belmont at the very least has kill moves. Duck Hunt has 2. His can isn't a kill move. Nothing on his kit's a kill move. It's back air and like forward smash. Those are the 2 you will get.
Yeah,
He has a nasty spike. It hits twice, but like that's it. And the thing is, Duck Hunt like can't kill. One of my buddies mains Bowser, and the matchup is just completely negative if I can't like 0 to death him. If I get hit once, I'm dead because he'll just like take that and run with it.
And yeah, like Mascus for Duck Hunt seems like that seems pretty on point, for anyone that wants to
Wait.
play that character.
My main before was Incineroar, and then after that I played Terry, and
Wait,
then
so
Duck
you-
Hunt's my current.
So you said
I
Duck
mean,
Hunt's good
Terry's
for people
just
that like pain and shit?
We're gonna kick you from the call.
No, I'm just, not listening. I'm just wondering.
No, Terry and what is it? Incineroar are kind of just the Belmonts of like melees, though, right? If I'm honest.
I might have to pick up Duck Hunt, to be honest.
Incineroar is just like the default for VGC players. I feel like I've seen like 90% of people that say they play Smash either and play VGC either main Incineroar or some other Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, but I respect it.
So Incineroar, what's the word? What's the
fun fact? Duck Hunt, every character on that character, which is a weird sentence to say, hates each other.
Oh yeah.
We talked about this a while ago, but there are 3 characters in Duck Hunt. It's the dog, it's the duck, and it's the person with the zapper. Person with the zapper shoots the duck, so he doesn't like him. The dog makes fun of the guy when he misses the duck, so they don't like each other. And the dog collects all the dead carcasses of the duck, so they probably aren't big fans of each other. They just hate each other. Why are they doing this?
I would agree.
I think they need to fight together out of necessity, you know?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it isn't even like the sauce that I like. I just like yelling, "Your beans, sir."
Enjoy your candy.
I can imagine it. No, I can imagine someone ledge trapping someone with the fucking can. You go, "Your beans, sir," and they go, psh.
I don't even look down on the Duck Hunt play. Like I respect it, if anything. Like I don't have that level of masochism in my body to commit myself to that.
Now here's the deal. I might. So like, you want to give me some Duck Hunt tips? I'm just saying, like.
What are you implying here,
I might be a little bit of a freak. I might be a freak. That's all I'm saying. I don't know, but I might.
I'm a freak. We talking sucking toes. What is that post?
I've been there.
Seen the post? There was a meme where it's like, I'm a straight up freak. We talking sucking toes, the whole lot of it.
The whole lot of it.
Yeah.
I've had more feet in my mouth than I probably should have in my life.
Excuse me? What? We dropping balls like this?
I'm not gonna elaborate on this topic. That's all I'm saying.
How many people have you killed, Dio? I don't know. How many toes have you sucked, Jonathan?
What?
What's going on? I'm so sorry.
This is what he signed up for.
Stakataka time?
This is great. No, this is great.
Stakataka time.
This is great that I'm getting like this on the guest episode, the first guest episode.
All right. Vatsa, do you know the legacy of Stakataka on this podcast?
Only a little bit. I got what you guys mentioned when you said it.
Stakataka is essentially the harbinger of death when it comes to a podcast episode.
Yeah.
So Stakataka is mentioned, the episode will end.
We are 4 times
like
weak
now.
to Gyroball.
So
yeah,
right
now.
So like right now,
it already ended.
Okay. So before we end, thank you, Fatsa, for coming onto the show.
Yes.
It honestly really great just talking to you. Like even like when we were off the podcast, we were just chatting. It was
Great
a lot
guy.
of fun.
Oh yeah.
It
was good. It was good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And you guys are doing the good stuff, doing the good work here on the Route 1 podcast. Is it Route 1 or Route?
No.
We all say Route. Route 1's those other guys.
It's the Irish guys.
Irish guys.
They're Irish. They're Irish. They would pronounce it. They would pronounce it. Route.
Why'd you say it like that? The Europeans.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
European. I'm a shitting. We are not the same,
bro.
Anyway. Thank you, Vatsa, for coming onto the show.
If there's anything you'd want to like plug or like leak before it drops, like over here, maybe.
Nah, you know what? If you guys want to do me a big favor and go watch Aaron Cybertron Zhang's newest video, you'll be better players for it.
Ooh, what did he release?
Plug in a different guy. That's hype.
That's pretty awesome.
Respect.
But yeah. Happy to have you on again if you want to come on. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. And hopefully we will be back with another episode next week.
Yeah.
Don't say hopefully. Don't say hopefully.
Hopefully, man. The schedule's been whack recently. But
hopefully, my mom says we might be moving to another school. Like I might not be able to make.
Oh.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I swear to God, I'm not that much of a freak. I promise.